Hello. In this lesson, we're going to explore a study technique that works with your brain, not against it. We're going to learn a simple flashcard method that helps you study smarter, not harder, so that the time you spend studying really counts.
You know, we've all had that feeling. You put in the hours, you go over the material, but when it's time for the test, it feels like it's just vanished. Well, the goal isn't just to study longer, it's to study in a way that's more effective. And this system is designed to do exactly that.
So, what is it? The Leitner System is, at its heart, a simple way to organize your flashcards. You sort them into different piles based on how well you know them. This means you end up reviewing the cards you struggle with more often, and the ones you know well, less often. It's a way to control the frequency of your practice.
Now's a good time to pause. In your workbook, at the very top of the page, just take a moment to write down what that definition means to you.
The reason this system is smarter is because it automatically targets your weak spots. If you just go through a big stack of cards over and over, you're wasting a lot of time on the things you already know. But this system makes sure your brain power goes directly to the cards that need the most work, strengthening those memories until they stick. So think about that for a second. How does focusing your energy just where it's needed help you study smarter? Go ahead and write down your thoughts in the workbook.
So why does this actually work so well? It's not magic. It's built on two really powerful learning principles that have a lot of science behind them: active recall and spaced repetition. These are the two engines that really make the Leitner system go. This next idea is really important. There's a huge difference between reviewing something and retrieving it. Reviewing is passive. That's when you're just looking over your notes. Maybe you glance at the answer on a flashcard and think, yeah, I knew that. Retrieving, though, that's active. That's when you force your brain to pull the answer from your memory before you flip the card over.
Now, retrieving definitely feels like more work, but it's the work that actually builds a strong memory that you can count on during a test. This difference is so critical. So before we go on, take a moment in your workbook to describe that difference in your own words.
Think about it like this. Every time you actively retrieve a piece of information, you're strengthening the pathway to it in your brain. It's like clearing a path in a forest. The more you use it, the easier it is to travel. Rereading, on the other hand, only really builds recognition. You see the words and you recognize them. But a test doesn't ask if you recognize the answer, it asks you to produce it from scratch. Retrieving is the practice for producing. So go ahead and capture your thoughts on that in the workbook.
It's really easy to feel a little bit down when you get a flashcard wrong. But in this system, getting a card wrong isn't a failure. It's just information. It's a signal. The pile a card is in isn't a judgment about you. It's simply a frequency setting.
Right. If you miss a card, it just means that card needs more practice. The system does what any good coach would do. It gives you more reps where you need them most. The whole goal here isn't to get a perfect score every time you study. The goal is to strengthen what's weak until it becomes strong. So think about that. Why is it so important to see a mistake as just part of the system and not as a punishment? Take a moment to answer that in your workbook.
When you're feeling overwhelmed with studying, one of the hardest parts is just knowing where to start. Everything can feel important and urgent, which sometimes makes you not want to start at all. Well, this system solves that problem. It gives you a clear priority every single time. You always start with your daily pile. There's no guesswork. The system tells you exactly what to do next. The whole point of having these different piles, daily, every other day, weekly, is to create a rhythm. It's a rhythm of spacing out your practice over time. The hard cards get seen a lot, and as they get easier, they move to piles you see less often. This rhythm is how you build durable, long-term memories instead of just cramming for a day and forgetting it all a week later. So in your workbook, what is the goal of that rhythm?
All right, so we've talked about the why behind this system. Now let's get practical and talk about the how. In this next part, we're going to walk through the steps together and actually run the system for the very first time.
Okay, step 1. I want you to just pick one class and create 10 flashcards from it. That's it, just 10. Don't worry about making hundreds right now. On the front, you'll put a term or a question, and on the back, the answer or definition. Go ahead and pause here to make your 10 cards, and we'll be ready when you are. Great. Now let's set up your space. You just need 3 distinct areas. You can label them daily, every other day, and weekly. This can be 3 spots on your desk, 3 folders, or even just piles with rubber bands. To begin, take all 10 of your new cards and place them in the daily pile. Everyone starts there. Go ahead and pause to get that set up and answer the question about it in your workbook.
Okay, it's time for your first review. Go through that daily pile, one card at a time. The rule is very simple. If you get the answer right, the card moves forward to the every other day pile. If you get it wrong, it stays right where it is in the daily pile. And be honest with yourself here. If you only sort of knew it, it stays. The goal is to build real confidence. So take some time now to do that first review. And as you do, fill in your workbook how many cards moved on and how many stayed behind.
Now, if you found yourself getting stuck on 1 or 2 cards, this is where we pivot our strategy. Instead of just staring at it and hoping it sinks in, we need to try a different approach. Your workbook has a few ideas. Just circle the strategy you tried, or maybe the one you think you'll try first next time you get stuck. It's all about finding what works for your brain.
A system like this only works if you build a habit around it. So let's make a concrete plan. When exactly are you going to review your every other day pile? And how are you going to remember to do it? Maybe it's a reminder on your phone, or you tie it to something you already do every day. A good system needs a good habit to support it. Pause here and write down your specific plan.
And for our last question in this part, I want you to reflect for a moment, thinking about how you study now. What is one specific reason this system could really work for you? Maybe it's because it takes the guesswork out of what to study, or maybe it helps with that feeling of being overwhelmed. Write down one honest reason you think this could be helpful.
So, let's do a quick recap. The Leitner System is a simple way to organize flashcards into piles to control how often you study them. It works because it's based on 2 powerful brain science principles: active recall and spaced repetition. Remember, a missed card isn't a failure, it's just a signal for more practice. And finally, the whole rhythm of the system is designed to reduce that feeling of overwhelm by giving you a clear and simple next step.
Okay, your turn. Go ahead and finish up the rest of the lesson 6.1 page in your workbook. When you're done with that, you'll be ready for our next lesson 6.2, where we'll dive into something called the Feynman technique, which is a fantastic way to make sure you truly understand a concept.